All right, so today I want to talk about MicroStrategy, not in terms of hype or headlines, but in terms of where I think the actual edge is when it comes to trading or investing in this thing. Not to brag, but I bought in at Coinbase at around $48 and then switched over to MicroStrategy when it was around $100 or so. I haven't been trading it, I've just been holding through the up and downs, so I'm a long-term holder here. And no, I'm not here to give price targets. Instead, I want to break this down into two parts here. I want to first talk about price targets for MSTR and why most of them suck, if not all of them, and why I think it's way more productive to focus on entry zones. I see a lot of negative sentiment around crypto and around MicroStrategy at the moment, and actually, we've usually seen these times as good entry points, as opposed to quitting and selling out at a loss anyway. Just to add, this is not investment advice, this is just my opinion. I release a lot of these videos, so consider subscribing. It's completely free and it helps me a lot. In return, I promise to deliver some cool company insights and content. Let's start here. This is a collection of actual 12-month price targets for MSTR. You'll notice that they're all over the place here. You know, Citi says 485, and to be fair, they actually show their math. They assume Bitcoin hits the 181 mark. They also apply a 25 to 35% premium on MSTR's NAV. BTIG, on the other hand, was at 700 earlier this year. It's now been trimmed back to 630. Still bullish, but no breakdowns on assumptions. Then you've got Mizuho at 586, Cowen at 535, and that's just the institutional guys. If you dip into the independent analysts or crypto blogs, you'll find targets up to $1,000, usually tied to Bitcoin going parabolic. Some of these targets assume Bitcoin hits 150K, some assume 200K, most don't even tell you. So what are we actually looking at here? A bunch of models built on soft assumptions, wrapped in confidence, basically. And that's not necessarily bad, it's just not actionable, in my opinion. So here's a takeaway from me. Price targets for a company like this, that's 90% Bitcoin exposure and a little bit of software, they're more about narratives than they are about valuation. I don't build positions based on someone's end of the year guess. I'm building this position to hold long term. For me, it's actually more tax efficient to hold a BTC related asset than Bitcoin itself. So this is my proxy for holding Bitcoin basically, and I'm not going to sell for a long time. So if I were there, sat with a bag of MSTR, which I bought for $400, my frame of mind wouldn't change at all. I'd still be holding, and I'd likely be buying to lower down my average price. So let's zoom in. As of now, MSTR holds around 640,000 Bitcoin. At Bitcoin at around $104,000, that's around 60 billion in BTC. But they also have debt, which is around 14.5 billion, and roughly 320 million diluted shares. Now let's put those into a model. This is a very simple model, okay? You know, simplicity is good in these cases. We don't want to add too many assumptions in here. If you just take their BTC holdings, subtract the debt, and divide it over the shares, you get a rough intrinsic value of $175 per share. Add in a 20 or 40% premium, which accounts for leverage, brand, and market optimism, and you're looking at around $210 to $245. So let's look at the chart. So right now, here at $240 to $260, this has been a massive demand zone over the past year. You've got historical support here, clean bounces, and structurally, this is where momentum tends to flip. If we also look at RSI, every time RSI dips into the 38 to 40 range, it lines up with price entering this same support zone. This is what we're seeing again now. So fundamentally, the price is hovering around fair value Bitcoin, and technically, this $240 to $260 range has been a place where buyers have stepped in repeatedly. So here's the thing, guys, and this is why I made this video in the first place. I don't know where MSTR is going to trade in 12 months from now. We've seen targets, like we've discussed, between the $400 to $700 range, and all of them depend on Bitcoin doing something they can't control. But what I do know is, when the chart, the maths, and the sentiment all converge around the same zone, that's where I'm interested. For me, it's around this $240 range, and it's where the edge starts to show. And that's what I care about more than anyone else's guess of future price. I hope this video has given you a simple insight into MSTR, and do let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching the video.